Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Oafdiscussions, OAF, only as a fan. Brought to you by Country Noise, with your hosts Kid Swift and Thoroughbred Webb, where each week we will bring you views on music, movies, and video games. For all things Country Noise, hit at KN_Nation on Twitter, Country Noise on YouTube and Facebook, and countrynoise.com. Sit back and enjoy the show. Peace.
I live to see you eat that contract. But I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine!
Now that nigga's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third episode of Oafdiscussions with Kid Swift
and Thoroughbred Webb. See, I was paying attention that time.
All right, today we got a few different topics that's been going on. We missed last week recording, so we're a week behind on a couple of things, but we've got a few things, obviously, that have been going on that we're going to cover.
Gives us a little more to talk about in in a short amount of time. So.
Yeah, so it might be even more in-depth show than it has been before. But, of course, we've got the Ben Affleck as Batman news to cover.
Well, we can kind of let's just kind of go into the topics.
Okay.
Rather than, announcing them.
Yeah, well, we can do that.
We'll do that in the description.
We'll surprise you.
Yeah, we'll do that in the description on the parts where you get to listen to the tracks. So
right. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, it's just to kind of keep from going with like a block schedule kind of type of thing, and just go just shoot some topics, a little bullet points, and just kind of go from there. Rather than sticking to some strict schedule. It's bad enough. I just clocked out of work before
sounds good to
recording.
Me.
So.
Sounds good to me. All right. Well, first and foremost, we got to get into this. The internet has exploded, so to speak, with the news of Mr. Ben Affleck, Mr. Argo himself, Mr. Daredevil, for all those out there.
Which is probably what is causing all of this backfire.
It's
about the news.
I think it definitely has something to do with it. But if you don't know. It has been announced that Ben Affleck will play Batman in the Superman versus Batman movie, and he's also apparently signed on contract-wise to play Batman for while in the
movies.
Yeah, for the near future. So Ben Affleck basically, if this is true as far as like him signing that agreement, which it's been proven. But this is going to be Ben Affleck is going to be our Batman for the Justice League movies.
Yep.
When those get going, obviously for the Superman versus Batman. So we're going to get used to seeing Ben Affleck as Batman pretty much. I mean, pretty much that's what we can go ahead and just get used to it. But the internet kind of went crazy. Like a lot of people against it. A lot of people, some people with it. But not as many. You mostly see the negative comments, but I just have to ask, like, what do you think, Webb, as far as like this whole announcement, this whole thing? Like, how was your first reaction when you heard it?
When I first heard about it, I don't even remember what the hell I was doing. I was on the computer, I was on my phone, sifting through stuff on there. And then I stumbled on that right before I went to bed, and I was like, "Huh?"
Right.
Like, hey, Keisha, And then she didn't really care, but whatever. I felt like I needed to at least share that with somebody,
right?
And it was kind of like, It was kind of and I could just imagine the shit that was going to cause just off of that right there, just because it never fails. Whenever an announcement is made, whenever something comes up. There's always the first people to comment is almost always the first people that are going to shit on an idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, at the first, I'm gonna keep an open mind about it. I'm always leery when it comes to superhero movies to begin with.
Exactly.
And you kind of learned to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we can't have everything we want, but yeah, exactly.
And so I'm in a wait and see kind of attitude about it. I'm keeping an open mind about it. It's gonna be kind of weird.
Yeah, it is.
Seeing the same dude from Argo, Jay and Silent Bob movies,
right?
Clerks,
which those are supposed to come back. By the way, they just finished the script for Clerks
right.
for the new Clerks. So we're
the third one.
Yeah,
so it's going to be Clerks 3.
Yeah, so we might see Batman and Clerks. This could get interesting.
That's probably what everybody's pissed off about. But no, and so as I said before, it's going to be weird to see that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, if he can pull it off, I mean. then what am I gonna? What I need to worry about that for?
Right.
But my opinion on the news itself didn't bother me, or the notion of him playing as Batman didn't bother me.
Right.
What bothered me was just how quickly shit got started. Shit got started with people that really did not like that idea of Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, it really escalated very quickly, negatively, very quickly.
Very. And it was just kind of funny. It's just like, dude, it's you'll notice that it's just so much rage for no reason on something you don't even know or you don't see yet.
Yeah, and
the fact, here it is, Zack Snyder. He's still continuing to do this movie, right?
Yeah. He's still Zack Snyder is still the director, and for Superman, at least for Superman versus Batman. As far as when we get into the Justice League universe, I don't know how that's gonna go, but he's still doing this. Now the only thing is, I know it's been rumored or supposedly Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan have completely pulled out. So I don't even think Christopher Nolan is gonna be executive producing this next one.
I was about to ask.
So that's gonna be interesting. So basically, it's just gonna be all in Zach's, Mr. Snyder's hands, as far as like taking it to the next level through the Justice League and into the Superman versus Batman thing.
Yeah. So I kind of got faith in that. I mean, Zack Snyder, he has, his reputation with Watchmen, which some folks hate it, some folks enjoy it.
Yeah,
a lot of folks hated it. That was really true. That felt that it was being true to the source material.
Right.
Well, like my thing is with Watchmen, I'm off topic off of this, but anyway,
it's all Watchmen, comic books.
It's true to. It was very true to the source material, almost a bit too much.
Yeah.
It was a lot of movie to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like if you've read Watchmen, folks, that is a lot. That's heavy material to read.
It really is.
That is some heavy material to read. Even though it's it's got pictures in it, it's just there's so much to take in as far as the story, the storytelling, and as far as the juxtaposition with the comics and all this, and then like the itty bitty little tidbits in the end where they kind of immerse you into the story with little so-called ads or articles. As far as that with certain characters or Adrian, the Ozymandias' character, a little ad for their articles regarding missing authors and stuff like that, which probably wouldn't have worked obviously with the take Zack Snyder's had on the Watchmen. As far as if you haven't seen the movie, I'm trying to avoid spoiling it. The big twist near the end took a significant change. But honestly, with Watchmen, I feel like if they had not so much compressed it or condensed the movie, if they had did a volume like a Kill Bill, like Volume 1 and Volume 2,
that would have been so much better. Because that was my whole thing about it. Is like I loved it. I love the graphic novel. I love the film. I liked the film. I really did. I liked the tone and everything overall. But just I think it should have been spread out over at least honestly 3 different volumes. If they would have did that, then they could have took their time in like showing so people who have never read the novel still could grasp the characters and still grasp the story.
And I feel that was probably the most. As far as in the medium for film, I think that should have been the better approach to take with folks who are not familiar with the source material.
Exactly.
Especially if you're going to remain true to that source material as heavy as it was in that movie. Yeah. At least, not so much condense it to where you're giving too much for a new audience to take in. Yeah. Because the folks that have read the book, they know we know what we're expecting off of this.
Right, exactly.
And it's dope as hell that you've kept true to that. But at the same time, if you're going to introduce this to a new audience, then you should have at least what are we doing? I don't want to sit there like you should have, but
you should have did.
I'm not even
I said,
and I'm not even doing something in films. But what I think that's the approach that could have been taken as far as Watchmen. That was my only pet peeve with that. But to get back on topic with the Superman Batman movie,
right,
and possibly Justice League, was Snyder doing that one as well, or
see? It's not announced in stone if Snyder's going to be like the main director from here on. He's not. It's not in stone that he's gonna be like the Josh Whedon of the Justice League side of things and of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I know myself, was like, if you've already got what we had developed with Nolan's Batman universe, honestly, I would have liked Nolan to just be like the overlord of all DC movies from here on out, and just give them all kind of that tone. Even some of them might not have worked as much, but generally you could weave that kind of like more realistic dark tone in every like DC movie, most of them at least. But at the same time, I don't know if Zach's gonna stay on, if he's just gonna like, hey, I'm gonna ride this thing as much as I can, as far as like staying on with the DC universe and just doing as many of the movies as possible. But we will see. It's not been confirmed yet, but who knows? He might. I mean, it depends on what happens. But the other thing that, like, as far as like Ben Affleck himself, that I think that I have, like, of course I'm still like on the fence, kind of like let's see what happens. But I feel like his Bruce Wayne side of the coin is gonna be like spot on, because that's kind of a character that he's played before. Is kind of like that
douche.
Yeah, that kind of douchey character, that rich douchey. Yeah, like he looks that part. Like, and I think he'll be able to pull that off, and even like pull off the whole tormented dark side, like I lost my parents, boo-hoo type side of the coin, and really get that across without being either too whiny about it, but also using it and weaving that into the Batman. But I think, in my personal opinion, he needs to avoid the whole gravelly voice Christian Bale style of it, and go with like more of the modern day cartoon style, kind of like not really smooth talking, but like
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, exactly.
From the animated series.
Exactly. Yeah, the Kevin Conroy. That's the kind of Batman I think it would fit him.
I saw a behind the scenes video or feature on one of those DVDs that had the Justice League, or it was either Justice League or Batman and Superman, one or the other, whatever.
Right.
And it was just funny as hell seeing him in real, like seeing the actual Kevin Conroy speaking.
Yeah.
And like the entire time his damn voice is Bruce Wayne or AKA Batman. It's
right.
Just
yeah.
It was just that does it to me whenever I see cartoon characters like that I've seen for a long time.
Right.
And then to see the actor or actress speaking and their normal speaking voice happens to be that character.
Yeah.
Like that's really weird seeing Kevin Conroy. It's really weird seeing Seth MacFarlane.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
That.
I remember the first thing I've been like one of the first characters that I saw, like when I saw them actually like the voice actually being done, is the lady who did Chucky. Not Chucky. Yeah, Rugrats Chucky, okay. Not the scary movie. Did Chucky from Rugrats, and I think it's the same. She did multiple things. I don't know if she did Tommy as well, but I know she did multiples on that show. But just seeing her do Chucky was like weird. One, because it turns out it's a woman who's doing the little boy's voice, but it was like spot on, and it's just weird hearing that voice not coming from the cartoon. Yeah. I think it happens. I mean, but it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes
with the voice. I've said this to you before, and I haven't said this on Wax.
Yeah,
but it's funny as hell how so many people criticize Christian Bale's Batman voice.
Oh yeah,
and at the same time, like at the same time, is sometimes it came across kind of cartoony.
Yeah,
as far as it kind of got more cartoonish in the third movie, but
yeah,
I mean the first movie it made sense. The second movie was kind of some parts it was kind of sketchy, and the third one it kind of came across more like a parody of itself.
Yeah,
especially the part with Catwoman ditching on Batman. Is so that's what it feels like,
right?
It's like, dude, you're talking to yourself. Why are you? Yeah.
Right, it's so necessary. And I don't know if he was trying to like compete. He's like, they gave Tom Hardy that nice voice box thing. I want to make my voice.
Have you seen Arrow?
No, I have not yet.
Okay,
I'm behind on that, which I feel bad.
So like Oliver Queen or Green Arrow, for those familiar with DC Universe,
right?
On some parts, originally, like when it's at the beginning of I think it's only in one season. I'm not sure, but anyway, with
it's about to start season 2, I believe.
Yeah,
I think so.
Hopefully they come up with another season because it's grown on me.
Yeah, there's
when he first started out as the character, as the Green Arrow, or as they don't even call him the Green Arrow, they call him the Hood, or they'll probably eventually get to that Green Arrow part.
Yeah, yeah.
But he doesn't wear like the little diamond mask like
Yeah,
he does in the comics, or
right.
the little Robin Hood hat.
Yeah, yeah.
He legitimately wears a hood and he paints his eyes or whatever to where it kind of has that diamond shape.
Yeah.
So they kind of see with that show, they kind of stick with the source material, but at the same time they kind of it was like, dude, come on now.
Right.
He's not going to be wearing a damn Robin Hood hat, and
Yeah.
we're not going to be. There's no way that's going to be taken seriously in a real life gritty setting.
Exactly.
But as far as the point I was trying to get to, in the beginning, he kind of spoke really. He barked basically.
Yeah.
When to kind of mask his voice. Well, it didn't really matter because half the folks that he was going after didn't recognize him anyway.
Right.
But when it came time to family members or ex-girlfriends or people that he's familiar with, he has like a little device where it masks his voice.
Okay.
And, like, he can just press a little button and you can talk and whatever. Not like Bane. That was a terrible impression, but it masked his voice to where it sounds like completely different from who
than he actually does.
So they wouldn't recognize his voice. And
pretty awesome.
So you would think that would play a role in these comics, or well, obviously it's not going to be playing a role in the comics because you can't listen to print.
Right.
As far as maybe they start doing that with cartoons and movies and stuff like that, to where they actually change, like, different little things to change their voice.
Yeah. Which I like that better than them having to like force it themselves. I mean, especially in Bane's case. I mean, that worked out really good. As far as like the way it sounded, I liked it. It was obviously people parody it all the time and joke about it because it was so over the top in a way and kind of funny the way it came across. But it was awesome. It fit perfectly with the character, and it made Tom Hardy's life easier probably. I would say just be big and overzealous and you'll be all right. We'll do the talking part for you. But speaking of voices. We're just gonna stay on this comic book topic because it's been announced. Well, it's still rumored. They're saying there's like negotiations going on, so I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna happen. But apparently, Bradley Cooper from Limitless and obviously what the crap is that movie? Hangover? Yeah, Hangover. Duh.
So A-Team.
A-Team. Yeah,
the one movie he's not famous,
right?
Not famous for. Not that's the wrong choice of words, but
right.
That's not. Yeah. It's like A-Team. They're down here. Then the Hangover up here.
Yeah, exactly.
You pick an abstract scene or pick an abstract movie that somebody's been in.
Right. Yeah.
So, George Clooney. Oh yeah, from ER, right? Oh wait, he was famous. Yeah, he was famous for ER.
Right.
So, no,
so
Batman and Robin, right?
Right.
You picked their worst. You picked their worst role.
Right. Yeah. But anyways, Bradley Cooper is rumored to be up for voicing Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think would probably be pretty awesome because Rocket Raccoon he would be the one that can kind of get across that attitude that Rocket Raccoon is supposed to have in Guardians of the Galaxy, as far as like kind of not really arrogant, but kind of like smooth talking in a way. And but I think it would work.
That's probably most likely an obvious comic relief.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a talking raccoon.
Yeah, it's a talking raccoon
in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you haven't ran across like anthropomorphic characters in a Marvel movie since Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
And some of y'all that are old enough to know Howard the Duck, that didn't cross over too well.
Right. Yeah, it didn't work out too well.
I liked the movie when I was younger. I mean, I didn't know better. But yeah, looking back at it now.
Now it's like, oh, no.
Looking back at it now, I was like, oh.
Jesus. We got to add in like a Howard the Duck clip. But
I didn't find that movie.
Yeah, we're going to find that. We'll put it in there. That way y'all can at least hear it. But, yeah, I mean, Bradley Cooper, and obviously, if you don't know the whole Guardians of the Galaxy story or framework or characters, pretty much everyone, I mean, obviously, Rocket Raccoon, it's a raccoon. A gun-toting raccoon is one of the characters. And, of course, you have the other ones like you have Drax the Destroyer, you have Gamora. All of these characters are very out there and weird. I mean, you have Gamora as like a lizard green looking like humanoid character. Drax is like, I mean, he's just like a brute like type, like insane type character. You've got I can't remember his daggone name. Crap. Anyways, he looks like a tree, to put it basically. He looks like a tree, to put it as simply as possible. But I mean, you have all these characters, and that's one of the things I'm really. It's probably my most anticipated Marvel movie and comic book movie coming up in the next like few years. Even with like Avengers 2 and all, and the new Captain America and new Thor coming up, like it's something different. Which was one of the things that attracted me to Watchmen initially. Was it's something different. It's not in any way, shape, or form your normal run-of-the-mill superhero type movie, especially a superhero team movie.
It's very out there in contrast to, well, human characters that have been making. So we kind of go from Iron Man, where it's a guy building a suit for himself,
right?
Then we kind of dig into someone who's taking a super serum formula.
Yeah.
That was weird how I did that. And then the Hulk, a guy that is victim to radiation.
Right.
So these are kind of not very plausible superheroes, but at the same time, there's some kind of connect with them as far as them seeming like human being or they are human at this point.
Right.
And it's a little bit more believable than a ragtag group of space.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like the setting, of course, is it's intergalactic type setting. And the other thing that like when I was like looking at some articles on it as well is something that you have to take into account is like their story is a lot different than like, of course, like Captain America and Thor and all of these guys who are like good guys who just teamed up, or normal guys who became powerful Thor, and then teamed up.
That's probably the most abstract that.
Marvel has out of all
so
of them,
far
exactly. And showing Thanos. that was like the most two most abstract things. But like that's something about the Guardians is like they're all like either like hustlers, like they're like criminals almost, bounty like almost all of them, huh?
Is there a bounty? There's a bounty hunter in there. At one
that's my daughter. You don't hear in the background. But anyways, like I was saying, I mean, that's kind of the weird thing about it. You can't get it.
I don't think she. Oh, okay.
But that's kind of the weird thing about it.
You want to talk to Mike?
Nah, say something. Say something. You want to say nothing? All right. That is my daughter in the background running around. You might hear. But it's the Guardians are very different, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think it's like one of the most anticipated comic book movies to come up. Absolutely. But like we said, I mean, I think everybody, just to kind of sum it up what we've been talking about, just give Affleck a chance. Give Affleck a chance.
Matter of fact, since we're coming back to that, matter of fact, give Affleck a chance, dude.
Yes, please.
Stop raging 3 seconds after hearing something. Yeah. I mean, because it kind of bugs me. I mean, I understand that you love what you grew up off of. I love that you love what is a hobby as comic books, movies, or if this is your life as to what you're, as far as you're maybe in your profession or whatever. Yeah. But don't be so quick to shit on somebody's idea. Yeah. I mean, understandable. Yeah. Daredevil. We had the discussion in the first movie or the first episode of
Oafdiscussions we did about
Daredevil. Like it wasn't a bad movie. It just, I mean, it's just something was just kind of.
It just was off. Yeah. And I think that was in the early stages when they were still kind of figure out exactly how to execute comic book movies in the way that would be appealing to a wider audience, but at the same time still stay really true to the source material. I'm like,
but not. I mean, at the same time, it's the same thing that they, the folks have done with the Joker. When Heath Ledger was announced as being the Joker for Dark Knight, and all of the and just all of that just came about.
Oh yeah, he caught a lot of people don't remember that.
A lot of flack for that. Yeah. People kept bringing up Brokeback Mountain. kept calling him all types of homophobic slurs and all this other stuff. It's like, this no talent dude from 10 Things I Hate About You, this this F word, you say, F word, yeah.
Right.
FAGGOT has been used awful lot about that.
Oh, yeah,
They kept bringing up, so is Batman going to start kissing him and all this other stuff? And then look at it now.
Then everybody's jaw was on the floor by the time that movie was over with after that performance.
And now everybody is quoting this dude. Everybody's sitting there just hailing him as the greatest Joker of all time.
Exactly, yeah. Give him like we said, give him a chance. I think we'll be all right. But we're gonna go to a quick track. We're gonna go to a song. What we got today, song wise?
You know what? I'm not even gonna. We'll just play it.
Okay, we'll just let y'all hear it. If y'all like it, feel free to dig deeper. Send us a message. Send us an email. Shoot us a line. Comment. We've got everything set up now where you can stream it. So if you're streaming this right now and you listen to it, you'll be good to go. You can also subscribe always via Feedburner. It's oafdiscussions.blogspot.com. We're going to a commercial, we're going to a track, and we'll be right back with more. You are obligated to enjoy that track. But we just wanted to come back and get into some more stuff with you. Gaming side of things. Of course, if you are a gamer or anybody who pretty much keeps up with entertainment, especially the gaming industry and specifics, this last week that just passed was GamesCom in Cologne, Germany, I think is how you say it. But it's like pretty much like one of the biggest game showcases next to like E3. PAX.
I'm sorry. I was sitting there thinking, it's Colin, bitch.
It's Colin.
Colin, Georgia.
Cologne, Cologne. It was GamesCom 2013. Like I said, it's one of the biggest things next to E3, PAX, the Tokyo Game Show. But it's basically another chance, especially on a year like this year where we've got 2 new consoles coming out, where it's like one of the last big conferences and big shows before the release of the console. And then, of course, Tokyo Game Show will be probably the last one before the systems come out. So we got to see 2 more like presentations as far as like from Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft's was scaled down a little bit this time compared to Sony's. We got to see considerably so. It was a big difference. It was kind of weird. It was kind of like the Microsoft thing was kind of like a town hall type discussion, and the Sony thing was just as extravagant as it was at E3, pretty much. I mean, almost the same setup. Yeah,
probably because all that flack it got the first time around with the Xbox One announcements. And
well,
stuff.
yeah,
and then the reneging on the Xbox One announcements.
Exactly. I think they wanted to kind of go for a more personalized setup. I think is the reason why they did a smaller. Less kind of like
guys, just between us,
right? Yeah.
This isn't really happening,
right? It's just a conversation. It's a conversation. Please, it's a conversation between friends. Is all it was. But of course, we got to see some more in-depth playthroughs, some actual game footage of a lot of the games we're really looking forward to. And we just kind of wanted to go through the games that we're looking forward to as far as like coming up in the next few months. Of course, you've got Grand Theft Auto 5 first and foremost. It's probably the closest one to come out very soon in September, matter of fact. So that's going to be a big release, and I know we're both looking forward to it big time.
Definitely. It seemed like as far as social media goes, every black person is hyped about this Grand Theft Auto game. It seemed like.
And I think, I mean, even still, I mean, it is always a big thing for some reason in the black community with Grand Theft Auto.
Well, maybe not so much. Like the last time I've seen so many brothers hyped about this game or about Grand Theft Auto,
right,
was Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yep.
And San Andreas.
Yep.
So a little bit for Vice City. Maybe not as much with 4.
Yeah.
And maybe not so. Definitely not as much. I've kind of glazed over or just ignored. What was it? Liberty City Stories? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the one that came out on PS on Vita and everything like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of overlooked that one. But I mean, I think overall, I mean, as far as like that being the first game we kind of get into coming up before, I mean, kind of like the last really big game of this console generation, and there's a lot of stuff that it looks like is going to be really, really good and going to be a big difference from the past Grand Theft Auto things. One thing being the whole online portion of the game is like its own like ever evolving kind of like entity within the whole Grand Theft Auto universe, because the game comes out on September 17th. But the actual online portion of it is not going to release to October 1st. So it's kind of going to be this own like standalone thing, almost like a MMO type setup, but with just like 16 players, like drop in, out however you want to. But it's going to be a lot more in depth, a lot more evolving over time. Like as far as like they were talking about like adding on like different cities and like adding on a bigger whole scope and everything, and like what you can do overall like with your friends online is going to be like way more developed than what it's been in the past, from just like the basic multiplayer we got initially with San Andreas, where you had to stay within like the same 10 feet of each other and just run around in circles with one other person. Like it's gotten into its own full multiplayer experience, which I think is going to make a big difference with this version of the game. But I mean, from what I've seen, I think I'm really excited about that coming out in September, definitely. It'll be enough to hold us over until the new consoles come out. Just enough. A couple months, then we'll be good.
Probably. I mean, it's good. I'm not even gonna front. I'm broke. So as far as new consoles coming in, I'm probably gonna wait till
we need
maybe
y'all to listen to these podcasts and start getting paid for this, so we can afford more stuff and make them better.
No, I mean, I'm probably gonna wait. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna wait till the price drops, and that's probably not even gonna happen till like what? Probably 3 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while on these,
most likely. But yeah, I mean, good things come to those that wait. So
right, definitely. By that time, everything, all the games will be out.
Yeah,
like all the good games,
like, as greatest hits.
yeah, it's great. Hit for like $19, like Titanfall and all. It'll be like $19. Dying Light and all that stuff will be $19.
Yeah, so you kind of glazing. Yeah, already kind of breezing through the ones that you, the two games you just mentioned right there.
Yeah.
So that was definitely something you was really looking into. You said Titanfall.
Yeah, as far as like first and foremost, I mean, there's a few of them like the big games that like at E3 and ever since February that they've been showing like basic stuff from. I mean, the list goes on, but these are like the games that have like really grabbed my attention. Is like Titanfall, I think is going to be amazing from what I've seen. Finally seeing gameplay footage. Finally seeing a little bit more extensive stuff from GamesCom and seeing like the playthroughs. As far as like from IGN and from GameSpot and everything like that. No sponsor. What up? But I mean, Titanfall looks amazing. Dying Light is another one that looks amazing. Kind of like the perfect marriage between Mirror's Edge, Left 4 Dead, and Dead Island, which is kind of weird when you think about it. But they've kind of got like this really developed movement system in place where basically instead of just like running from the zombies like you normally would run from the zombies, like you're basically like free running, jumping off the zombies, jumping over rooftops, like shimmying down, like sliding down, like it's over the top. It's nuts.
Yeah. It's like a first person Infamous meets you're I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. It almost comes across like it kind of comes across like a typical here we go, another zombie game.
Which there are a lot coming out on this next generation already. I mean, we've got 3 in the works. You got Dead Rising 3, you got Dying Light, and then there's another one. I can't think of what it is.
It's not Dead Island, is it?
No, it's not Dead Island. Because the guys from Dead Island are focusing on Dying Light right now.
It's the same people?
Mm-hmm. The same people. Same development. So, like, there's a lot of stuff you see similar.
See, I wasn't a big fan of Dead Island.
Yeah, see,
there was
kind of like a pull. There was kind of like I played them, and I liked them. Especially, they were at their best when it was 4 players, co-op. Which I think is probably going to be the same case. With this is the co-op situation.
You're not talking about Left 4 Dead, are you?
No. I'm talking about Dead Island.
Oh,
because those were when those were the best. Was when you had 4 people or multiple people playing the co-op through it. It made it a lot more fun. Which I think will probably be the same case with Dying Light. And then of course the other ones that I'm really looking forward to. You got Rise, Son of Rome. I think it looks good. It kind of got some mixed reactions initially at E3 when they first revealed it because there was a lot of QuickTime events, which I kind of like broke down to you. And he watched the trailer. The trailer.
I caught the trailer from E3. And I don't really have a big problem. I ain't got a problem with QuickTime events as long as it doesn't take away too much of the game itself.
Right.
Like, for example, Heavy Rain.
Oh, yeah.
That was a damn good game as far as the storyline.
Absolutely.
It was almost entirely QuickTime. I mean, granted, some of it was out of your control and to sacrifice in place of the narrative.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a really good narrative, and it really immersed you in there.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time, other games you can't really pull that off, especially an action game such from the looks of Rise.
Yeah, exactly.
Which almost falls along the same line. It's like a mix between Gladiator and God of War, it seemed like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially with the quick time events as far as slowing stuff down and hitting a certain fatality or a certain button to commit a fatality or whatever.
Right. And for all the people who like saw the preview at E3 and kind of are worried about the same way a lot of people were, the good thing is, like, from the stuff I've seen at GamesCom, as far as like the hands-on stuff that I've seen, it's not all QuickTime at all. There's a lot more strategy that goes into it, and as far as like the way that it was presented at E3 with like the button over the head, like QuickTime event like setup, that's going to the wayside. It's basically going to be more subtle as far as like when it's going to be more subtle and at the same time more realistic as far as like when you'll know to pull off those finishers.
As realistic as a QuickTime event's
going to get. Yeah, it's realistic as a QuickTime event's going to get. But at the same time, like even like the developers were talking about like in the hardest difficulty in the game, they're potentially talking about completely removing any kind of like cues as far as like for controller button presses, because right now the way it works is in the game is when somebody's wore down in a QuickTime event basically has the ability to be initiated, is there's a colored outline around the character, that basically corresponds to the color of like the buttons on the Xbox One controller, X, Y, B, A, obviously. But they were talking about in the most difficult mode is potentially just removing that, and you literally have to look at the body language of of whoever your opponent is, and that's the way you know when to pull those off, which I think would be awesome. But the combat definitely looks a lot more in-depth. The customization's a lot more in-depth. The co-op looks like it's going to be awesome, especially when you start to get like 4 people in there running around the Coliseum going through these different things. It looks sick. But I mean, there's hundreds of other games that were obviously talked about. I mean, there's Killzone, Shadowfall on PlayStation. As far as on the PlayStation side of things, looks really good.
One of the new games I'm really looking into was kind of caught my attention is Watch Dogs.
Yes, this is a big one,
and this is a lot of hype for this.
Ubisoft is pretty much on a roll. And the funny thing, like talking about like Watch Dogs, is it was revealed last year's E3 and it won like every award possible as far as like best of show and stuff like that. And then it took a whole year and like a year plus before we're even getting our hands on the game. And it's funny because a lot of people are like talking about like all right, I'm sick of seeing the same trailer. Just give me the game. Like I want to play it. Like, and I think it's really going to be one of those games as far as to really start to show off the whole next gen, what's capable graphically, and also with the connectivity things with like people using mobile devices and stuff like that.
It's a very, very ambitious title. It seems like, just off of the ideas that they gave as far as implementing, as you already said, mobile devices, tablets, etc.
Yeah, and I mean it really does. It looks really good, and it's one of the ones I have reserved. I have that reserved. I have Rise reserved. I have I don't have Dying Light reserved because it doesn't come out till next year, but I've got Watch Dogs, I've got Battlefield 4, I've got all those reserved. But I mean, those really, really look like really amazing games. And the funny thing about Ubisoft in general, as far as like this next generation of like games that they're coming out with, I didn't like Assassin's Creed 3. I had it for like 2 weeks. I played it and I got bored with it and I traded it in. Assassin's Creed 4, I said, like, after Assassin's Creed 3, I was like, all right, they've lost it. They've lost me. I really don't care anymore. I'm sick of worrying about Desmond and his Adamus and the rest of his crap. It's getting out of hand. Then I saw Assassin's Creed 4. Then I saw it played on the next-gen consoles. And honestly, I'm thinking about reserving Assassin's Creed 4. It looks really, really good. I mean, that's one thing that Ubisoft has been able to do consistently is, like, they just keep reeling me back into this Assassin's Creed world. And I'm like, God, I keep wanting to, like, let's say, no, enough's enough. You keep releasing them every October. Like, it's like back to back.
Like it's Saw.
Yeah, exactly.
Paranormal Activity.
It's like the Saw of video games. It really is. But it's like, it's like literally if the first Saw kept getting released every year, and then we were like in between each like viewing of it, we got hit with the Men in Black memory eraser thing, and we were like, "This is amazing!" Like every time, like it's weird, but I'm probably gonna get Black Flag. Black Flag. That sounded that almost was naughty. That was almost bad. I'm sorry. Whoops. Censor. Anyways, I said Flag. Black Flag. Assassin's Creed. I'm probably gonna get that.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
But but I mean, on that note though, I mean, as far as about the whole, because this is like one of the biggest years in a long time, as far as video games and gamers, and one of the reasons we started this podcast in the first place was to go for gamers, people who generally like comic books. I mean, the kind of nerdier things. And, of course, the music, which people can be nerds about music as well. But that's kind of what we base this on. So this is really one of the biggest things that got us to really, this was a good time to start this, is because we've got 2 huge consoles coming out. I'm thinking about getting both. Just because I want both. And I normally have PlayStation and Xbox. Initially, when it first was announced, I was like, screw the Xbox One. But the more that they've kind of shifted the whole framework of it, and the more I've seen the games on Xbox One, there's a lot of stuff on Xbox One that I want to play. So I'm like, I might as well get both. And plus, that'll be good, too, because we'll start doing playthroughs. You'll start to see more. And if we have both on the show, we'll have more stuff for Oafdiscussions. But, yeah, I mean, that was kind of like an overview, the highlights of GamesCom. It really looked good. I mean, of course, PAX is coming up, so that's going to be another big surge of game play footage, and a lot of the games getting in their basically final days of development. I mean, pretty much done. Everything's being wrapped up at this point and getting ready for November 15th, PlayStation 4, and probably November 5th for Xbox One. We don't know for sure. But that's my guess. Is that first week, because they have to get them out before Black Friday. I mean, that's in America. You have to get them out before Black Friday. It was funny. I thought about this. What if they released the systems on Black Friday, like that same day? I thought about how insane that would be. That would be ridiculous. Because if y'all don't know, Kid Swift, me, I work at. So I'm in the shit, so to speak, as far as like when it comes to new releases and stuff.
I could have left that alone, but yeah, because then it's bad enough you're already revealing your identity. Anyway,
okay, yeah. Well, you don't know. you'll never find me, and you'll never know which one. But let's say this. Forget that last line. I work in an electronics store that sells video games.
We'll edit it in post.
Oh yeah, we'll
just bleep it out.
We'll bleep it out. You'll just hear a tone, a dead tone. It'll just be a block of silence. You're like, what did he say? Just to mess with y'all. So I work in an electronics store that sells video games. So as far as that happening, that would be insane.
That narrows it down.
Insane. Yeah. You don't know which one, do you? But I think it's going to be fun. Because we're doing a release of the system, so it's going to be nuts. But if they did it on Black Friday, I think it would be like pandemonium. Somebody might die. Possibly.
And then, I mean, yeah, I don't believe in the Black Friday hype, so
yeah,
I don't.
God,
I
it's
sleep
so,
in.
yeah, I know.
I sleep in when that goes
still
on.
full of turkey. I don't feel like getting up in the morning. Like, why? I just want to go to sleep. But most of the time I'll be working anyway, so whatever. But anyways, like we said, I mean, that was kind of like what happened as far as like GamesCom, how it was, the highlights of it. Of course, we've got some more, couple more shows coming up before the systems actually release. And then by that time, I mean, we'll be giving you full reviews and stuff on the stuff that we have, and kind of giving you an idea of how everything's set up as far as like both systems, if I get both of them, hopefully. But yeah, like we said, Oafdiscussions, we're going to keep everything, all things game, all things nerdy, all things movies, comic books, and keep it locked right here. Post in the comments. What systems are you guys getting? Post in the comments. Let us know which ones are your favorite. Are you still completely against Xbox One? If you were, are you PlayStation 4? Make your arguments. I want to see people fight.
Games you're looking forward to, all of that.
Yeah, definitely. And any other things, any other games in particular you want us to talk about on the show, just let us know. Drop us a line, post in the comments, subscribe. Oafdiscussions.blogspot.com is the main blog website. But yeah, we're going to take one more quick break, then we'll be right back with our last little short segment. We're going to talk about some music stuff.
Music break.
Music. Uh-oh. Dance break. But yeah, all right, we'll be right back, guys. 26. Hey, I thought that was what it was. But anyways, last night was the VMAs. But before we get to that, we want to talk about. Before we get to that, we want to talk about a topic that we kind of missed out on last week because we didn't record last week. Good old Kendrick Lamar and the Control
verse.
Not
the verse, because we just kind of discussed that 2 weeks ago with the episode 2.
Yep.
No, episode 2.
Yeah.
This is episode 3. This would have been 4 if we were here last week, but
yep.
Not so much the verse this time around.
Right.
We didn't discuss the responses.
Yeah, we didn't get into that.
Yeah. So I figured, ain't no time but 2 weeks after the fact then.
And I know, I don't know which one. I haven't heard probably as many and all of them. I haven't heard all the responses.
Well, there's really no point to sift through all of them, especially when
really.
Not a damn one was mentioned, or not, out of the people that have responded, not a single one of them were mentioned in that verse at all.
Which is so funny. Because the fact that, like, by Kendrick mentioning the people that he mentioned, those are kind of the people that was kind of like hats off to those people that he did mention. But kind of like a slight to the people that he didn't. And I guess some people who weren't mentioned took it more personally than people who were mentioned.
There's some in that. I mean, there's different. From my understanding with the responses, there's some that felt insecure about not being mentioned.
Yes.
There's some that just were up in arms about the King of New York line.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Which whatever. But anyway,
yeah,
whatever. Y'all took that a little too far. Anyway.
Yeah, really.
There's also, let's see, just the fact that or some folks kind of took it up to it being more about competition. And right. Like, okay, well, let me step it up. I got so damn tired of that damn beat.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Before the week was even over with, bro.
Yeah, like, that's kind of the thing too. It's like the same beat was constantly used over and over again, and that was one of the things that somebody mentioned initially. Like when the verse first released, a lot of people were like, "Okay, let's hear the responses, but for the love of God, don't use the same beat. Just use another beat." Like,
especially when some folks didn't even have the official instrumental. They had to use like a sorry ass loop.
Oh my God.
And but yeah, there was some good responses. Obviously the best one that comes to mind is Joel Ortiz's.
Yeah, definitely.
With Joe Budden, I was I caught his response on the Friday.
Yeah.
And well, it kind of came across late.
Right.
And it kind of came across like kind of just I didn't feel it compared to like other stuff where he went in.
Yeah.
On maybe like on some mood music where he went in on that or being introspective.
Right.
Like the most recent, like the last the last battle that I remember him doing was him against Saigon.
Oh yeah.
And like he didn't go in that kind of same level that he did against Saigon. Now granted, it wasn't supposed to be as a beef thing, or it wasn't supposed to be like as a shot at Kendrick.
Right.
But at the same time, I was expecting it just didn't hit as hard as I was expecting him to do, especially coming like as no one like seeing his his discography like that,
right? Or
his tracks that he's done with where he's gone in like that.
Exactly.
But other responses I just ain't been really too crazy about. Go really. Figure the two dudes or one half of Slaughterhouse comes to mind.
Yeah.
There was some dudes I never even heard of.
It was a lot of people. I mean, like other people, like in like random like independent artists that did it, and I'm like, it's completely unnecessary. Obviously, he wasn't talking about you. Like, I mean, cool, hello, you get your verse, but don't do it on the same beat. That was the other thing too. Like all the small time artists, I guess you could say, like all did it on the same beat. I mean, it was unnecessary in some respects, but at the same time, it didn't even come close to living up to the original verse or like Joel or Ortiz's response. Not at all.
Or Lupe's second response, SLR 3.
Yeah.
2 I didn't really care for. Granted, somebody was actually saying that he was kind of making fun of other rappers' styles on each time or each few seconds on the tracks when he was switching up his flow or whatever, but I still didn't care for it. But that's SLR 3. Oh my goodness, like that damn beat once it kicks in, it just like I've actually set that as my alarm clock.
Yeah,
just off of that beat.
The beat is sick.
And
we was listening to that today before we came and recorded, but that's nasty. That's ridiculous. But I mean, a lot of times this is like the first like really good issue challenge in hip hop we've seen in a long time that's gotten a response like this, at least across the board, from Kendrick and from any artist for that matter. But it's just interesting to see like the different responses and how people respond and how people take it and how some people just shrug it off, some people get offended, and et cetera, et cetera. It's funny to watch and listen to.
most of the time,
right? Most of the time. But with that said, I mean, we got to go on to the insane train wreck. Usually train wreck. Somewhat okay in some parts, but most of it was just all over the place. The VMAs was last night, Sunday, August 25th. All I can say is twerk, Molly, Molly, twerk.
don't say that shit.
In the words of the immortal Jay-Z, twerk, Molly, Molly, twerk. But I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, at the same time, like I didn't see all of it when it was aired because I was watching Breaking Bad.
It's probably the smarter choice.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it either. I've only been able to catch the highlights from tweets and vines and all this other stuff. So a lot more focus. I've seen way too many. That whole silly putty looking ass, or that lack of an ass, where like if you squeeze silly putty and it squeezes out between your fingers. That's what that picture that I kept seeing looks like. And they did the little side by sides between like every time they showed her butt, they showed Hank Hill's ass from King of the Hill. They showed a side by side of two fingers just walking. That was hilarious. So
somebody said it looked like an unfrosted mini wheat. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was some bad ones, but it's just so funny. I mean, you got to think. I mean, what the heck was she thinking, and just what was MTV thinking, just in general, like.
And for her to be trying to twerk on Robin Thicke.
Oh man, Robin Thicke looks so uncomfortable. He was like,
folks were clowning Robin Thicke too, saying he looked like the Beetlejuice character.
Yeah, I saw that.
But what's so funny is that like there were so many different people tweeting that shit, pretending. But it was so funny. It was like I first saw somebody do that at one point, and then almost an entire hour later, there was like 5 other people sitting there tweeting it like they thought of it, like they just thought of it, like trying to sound like
it was
that was their original joke. It's no,
right? Yeah, I saw that. Like, it's so funny to see how Twitter blows up whenever there's any kind of award show, whether it's VMAs, the movie awards, anything. Like it's interesting to see. Like you don't even have to watch the show anymore. You can just watch your Twitter or Facebook feed, and everybody will tell you exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
and create hundreds of memes about the different
almost
stuff.
instantly.
Yeah, that's
almost
the amazing
instantly.
Thing. Somebody's sitting at home with their Photoshop open or their picture editor open and just ready to go as soon as something crazy happens. Yeah, I mean it's just ongoing though. At this point, I have no faith in the VMAs, obviously, along with a lot of people. I mean, even like stuff that I was
what something that I've thought about earlier today.
Yeah.
What's the point of having the VMAs on MTV if MTV is not even playing any music videos?
They ain't played a video in 5-6 years.
And I ain't even like I've kind of stopped watching MTV and BET, them type of shows, or well, really them 2 channels more specifically.
Yeah.
But it would like have like do they even still do the AM thing? Where they play music videos early in the morning, where you got to get up and like not even get to.
I don't even know if somebody knows if they still do the morning music video thing. Post in the comments. Let us know. If somebody watches MTV on a daily basis, let us know what you think, how it is, and exactly what the scheduling is and everything. Because I know obviously you don't have like BET playing videos really like that no more. Obviously, 106 in Park is still on, but Jesus Christ, it's so bad compared to what it used to be. I miss AJ and Free and Rap City the Basement and all those good places.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just no award show. I mean, it's always some stupid person as the host, and then it's always some bull crap, just trying to milk every bit of they can out of like the most random shit. But the funny thing was though, and I feel kind of weird admitting this on air, nudge nudge wink wink, is I saw one of the specific performances that I watched completely all the way through, and literally was watching the performance just because, of course, it obviously was weird and shocking at first, but then by the time the actual music kicked in, it was all right. But Lady Gaga's performance, it was weird, like it's always gonna be. It was strange. She was dressed like I don't even know how to describe it. It was like a boxed nun or something. I don't know. It was weird Halloween. It was like something if you splashed blood on the outfit, it would look like one of the monsters off Silent Hill. Is basically what it was. But the funny thing was, I mean, when the song actually came in, like she did all right, the performance wise. Like you can tell she's puts time into her performances, but that was it. I mean, even like the Daft Punk performance, which I was kind of looking forward to, was pretty lackluster. I mean, that could have been anybody in those suits. It might not even been them. They could have had 2 interns stand in and just stand up there and hit buttons. But I mean, the only person you know for sure was Pharrell. But it's just funny. Just how these award shows are nowadays, and just completely lost interest. Completely lost interest. And I know a lot of people are like that, but a lot of people still watch them because they know something's crazy is gonna happen. Somebody's gonna get a fight. Somebody's gonna get booed off stage. Somebody's gonna cuss somebody out. Somebody's gonna drop kick somebody in the front row. Shout out Miguel, what's up? Somebody's gonna do something crazy. Somebody's gonna pull out titty or something. But that's why we watch them now. It's just for shock value at this point. There's no like legitimate interest in who's gonna win the award or not.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't even, unless, excuse me. Because hell, I couldn't even remember who was winning.
No,
a lot of folks from Black Twitter was complaining about no black people winning any of these awards.
Right. Yeah.
And that kind of, at the same time, it's kind of, well, maybe it's not right, but at the same time, maybe if black artists step up their game as far as what they're bringing to a music video,
right.
And also, Black Twitter, you got to realize there's a world outside of your little bubble.
Oh yeah, big time.
So,
and if it's just the same old crap, it's the Video Music Awards. It's video, so it's implied that they're hopefully awarding music videos that are of a certain quality. So, from what I've seen, as far as like from any other like R&B and rap videos lately, have been all the same crap. It's nothing new. It's just somebody against either a white background standing in front of a car, standing in front of something, and there's money, and there's probably some female have scantily dressed. There's probably alcohol somewhere. But there's nothing. There's no real creativity anymore in the videos. You don't have like those Missy Elliott videos or those Outkast videos like we used to have, like back in the 90s. Like none of that crap no more. And it sucks, but hey, that's where we're at. Everybody's got a camera, so everybody with no talent is shooting some baloney. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the way it is right now. It's interesting to see. It's interesting to watch. But yeah, we just wanted to touch on the VMAs lightly. Nothing too extensive. It's kind of funny because
news about the Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh yeah.
Coming out
Forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm kind of your thoughts on that? Or well, actually, let me go ahead and talk about that. Yeah, he's about to walk out for a second. Well, seeing as I didn't watch the VMAs, I thought that was kind of dope as hell. That Eminem's coming out with a new album. As some of y'all may know, that's easily one of my biggest influences as far as when it comes to creating music. Once I get back to doing that, and I don't know, I'm kind of, once again, as you've probably already caught on, I'm kind of leery about this being a new track or something, a new album of his, and the fact that it's labeled like a sequel, which bugs the hell out of me when it comes to albums. You've had, like, for example, Method Man with the Tikal, and then that one Tikal prequel or Zero, the prequel. Not a lot of people like that one, but I don't know. At the same time, as far as it being like, hopefully this bashes that whole sequel title of albums and maybe overcomes expectations.
You talking about the
Marshall Mathers LP 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, since you walked out, I was talking about how anytime an album or anytime an artist makes another album that is supposed to play off like a sequel to.
Yeah.
Like I said, Method Man with the Tikal or Tikal Zero, the prequel.
Yeah.
Or I forgot to mention Jay-Z, Blueprint 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Or what else? I mean, with mixtapes, I guess that's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen.
The Hunger for More 2 from Lloyd Banks.
Yeah.
That's what he did that, right? He did have okay.
I think
so
yeah.
he followed through with the title. Okay.
Right, yeah, definitely.
Let's see, who else has done stuff like that?
I'm trying to think. There's been a bunch of them.
Well, technically, kind of Eminem's already done this before with the Eminem Show and then Encore.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Relapse, Recovery.
Yeah.
But not a direct. But this time around, not a direct title, sounding like a sequel. Yeah.
Right, exactly, yeah. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, in time, we'll see how it goes and see how everything ends up. See how the album comes out. We'll definitely talk about it here on Oafdiscussions and let you know what we think. Post in the comments, let us know what you think about it, what you think about the new album coming out, if you're excited about it, if you're not excited about it, whatever. Post the comments, tell us what you thought about that mini wheat butt. Your hashtag twerk Molly twerk. But just hit us up and tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about the show. Posting topics, anything you want us to talk about on here, anything you want us to review, check out, anything you think that we should check out that we haven't. Comic books, movies, music, CDs, mixtapes, video games, whatever. It's oafdiscussions.blogspot.com. That's where you can always go now to stream it. Listen to it.
Also, countrynoise.com/blog.
Yep.
As well as countrynoise.bandcamp.com.
Yep.
Which you'll not only be able to get or stream and get a look at or stream and download the podcast for Oafdiscussions. You will also be able to get a look at our discography to hear what Country Noise does.
Absolutely, and hear more like the songs that you heard on the show today. Also at KN_Nation on Twitter, Country Noise on Facebook.
Facebook.com/Country Noise. Country Noise spelling KUNTRYNOIZ
in your face. But this is just episode 3. We're gonna keep this going. We got a lot of people interested. We got some other talent, some other guys that friends of ours that want to become a part of the show, adding a third host, also trying to get the video stuff in place so you guys can see our beautiful faces as we talk shit. But no, we want to kind of like we've said before, expand it, continue to bring you new stuff, bring you game reviews, playthroughs, get this thing as far as video wise so you can see and listen to the podcast at the same time, or however you want to do it, stream it however you want to. But that stuff we're working on and eventually will be developed. Again, like we said, it's Oafdiscussions. This is episode 3. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Kid Swift.
This is Thoroughbred Web.
And we'll check out next time with episode 4.